What is going on, guys and girls? It is Ghost Robo, and this video has been much requested. PS4 versus Xbox One. Now, keep in mind that this is the March 2014 edition of this final verdict because it's an evolving debate. It's an evolving battle. It's an evolving race. Just as when the Wii first launched, people thought that had endless possibility, and look where it ended up in hardcore gamers' eyes. Just like the PS3 started slow and ended so strong, this too may be a generation in which things change. But as of right now, as of 3.5 months into the console lives, where do they stand? I'm here to tell you. I've played a bunch of both. I've played multi-platform games, I've played exclusives, I've played as much as I could. I've even got secondary controllers for both systems because I enjoy them a lot. I'm very, very excited to be in the next generation, which is now the current generation, and yet current gen sometimes is 360 and PS3. It gets all mixed up in everyone's heads, but what we know is that we have two consoles here, Microsoft, Sony. How do they fare? $500, $400, how do they fare? Well, let me begin by talking about the games. I don't think that there has yet been an exclusive that really weighs one side more heavily than the other. I enjoyed bits of Dead Rising 3, I enjoyed bits of Rise, I enjoyed bits of Killzone, I enjoyed bits of Knack, but none of them really turn the tables enough. Multi-platform games, a few are better on PS4, some seem to perform excellently on Xbox One, stuff like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, definitely, there are games that look a lot better on PS4. We'll say that. There are definitely some games that perform at a very ultra excellent level on PS4, and in terms of like those pixel numbers, I'm not going to get into that, but we know where that stands. There are some exclusives coming up that may shift some weight around. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare has been very fun on Xbox One. Titanfall is excellent and coming out very soon on Xbox One. Infamous Second Son looks to be a big app for PlayStation 4, and there's plenty more down the line. But as of right now, the games I don't feel can really be a deciding factor. Sure, if you have a favorite series and you want to follow up with that series, great. Sure, if you look to the future and you say, hey, I'm a huge Gears of War fan, I'm a huge Halo fan, I'm a huge Uncharted fan, you can then pick your console based on that. But as of the games that are currently released, there aren't enough. There's not enough to make a definitive decision with that. The controllers are both excellent. I am back to a point where I don't care which controller I use. I equally love them. I lose myself with both, which is awesome, because there were moments with the PlayStation 3 controller where I became very aware of what I was holding in my hands. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like the placement of the sticks. I don't like the feeling of the triggers. Well, I'm here to tell you that I love both controllers. There's days where I'm like, I just want to play PS4 because that controller feels so right. And there's days where I'm like, you know what, the Xbox One controller, it brings back everything I loved about the 360 controller and does it a little better. So the controllers have both turned out to be stellar. I'm so happy to be here telling you that I love my DualShock 4. I didn't know how I'd feel about it, but they have made so many small improvements that it goes beyond my expectations and delivers a fantastic in-hand experience. And the Xbox One controller is very nice as well. So where does that take us? Well, it takes us to consoles and how they behave, the interfaces, the extras. The Xbox One has always touted Kinect. The PS4 has made some points about, motion control and a little bit about the light bar and the touchpad, but less emphasis there. I have not used the Kinect in months. I was very enamored with it the first month. I thought it was very cool the first month. I thought the TV integration was very great the first month, and I haven't used any of it since. Now, I'm just one person. I have one kind of lifestyle. Depending on how you live, if you have a big entertainment center, if you're constantly watching Netflix, if you like to sit back on your couch that's 20 feet from your console and you don't want to get up and touch all the buttons and put discs in, perhaps Kinect serves a better purpose for you. For me, it serves no purpose. I don't have it ever connected, and I don't think I will. This brings me to the biggest difference between the two consoles at this point in their life cycles: the usability and the ease of use of the interfaces. I'm really surprised by this one. In the last generation, PlayStation 3 had an awkward XMB system that I did not like. You turn on the system, you see the weird wave, you hear the sound, and you gotta scroll through these awkward columns and rows of stuff. Where do you want to go? How do you want to get to your game? Settings, this, that. It was kind of clunky. I never was a fan of the store. Xbox 360 definitely had its hiccups. It was a little bit slow, but I liked the system they had. I felt like I could get into games really quick. I felt like when I turned on the system, boom, it was ready to go and ready to be played. I loved hitting the guide button and being able to parse through my messages, being able to quickly find my friends, being able to quit and start up downloadable games. It was really excellent. That has completely flip-flopped in this new generation. The Xbox One is slow. I feel like I am fighting against it every time I try to do something. That might be booting up a game. That might be just trying to set up a party. That might be going to settings. The guide button is no longer a guide button as far as I'm concerned. Sure, it takes you back to the home screen, but it doesn't offer the functionality and the fastness that the guide button did back on Xbox 360. The boot up time is incredibly long, and I feel like I'm walking through molasses every time I use that interface. Once you're in game, it's pretty okay, but every time I accidentally hit and pop out of that, I'm like, not only is it slow, but I feel like I don't know where I am. I feel like the way that they've set that up, the flow of the menus is not good at all. On the other hand, the PlayStation 4 is nearly perfect. I love that I boot it up, it instantly takes me to the sign-in screen, I press X to sign into my profile that's already queued up, and then I'm right there at my game bar. Now, some people thought that maybe this long game bar wouldn't be very convenient, that it's like, oh, you have to scroll through all your games, what if it's not what you want to play? It's a freaking awesome thing. It works like a charm. I love the fact that you boot it up, your games are right there, boom, 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 you scroll right through, pick what you want, you're in. I think that the pause feature on the PS4 seems to be a lot quicker to me than the pause feature on the Xbox One, and that's partially due to the fact that the interface in general works smoother and more seamlessly, so when you do pause, you can get around a lot quicker. I love the fact that they have all the settings, all those extras, friends list that you might want to find up above the games list, and you know exactly where it is. I feel like I am one with the PS4, if that makes any sense. I feel like I can go through and pick exactly what I want. I know where it is. I know where to find it. Boom, I'm in. I'm playing games. Golden. I don't experience that with the Xbox One. Many of my peers on YouTube echo similar sentiments. The Xbox One is slow. The Xbox One is clunky. Why did they do this? What choices did they make? I've even heard journalists and podcasters make similar complaints. I'm really impressed with the usability of the PlayStation 4. I didn't want to make a decision this early, but I've already started buying more multi-platform games on PlayStation 4. Now, that's not to say that won't change or that won't switch, because the Xbox One does have some really cool things about it. I'm just not using them right now, and the slowness of the system prevents me from enjoying them, which is a sad thing to say. You never want your interface to get in the way of the experience. At least if I was creating a piece of electronics, that's not what I would want. Again, the games, I really like Don't Starve on PS4. I guess that's an exclusive. I really had a fun time with Knack. I really like Plants vs. Zombies on Xbox One. None of them are that killer app yet, and perhaps we'll get there with Titanfall. I think that's going to pull a lot of weight. But right now you're looking at two boxes. One is $500, one is $400. For me, the extra $100 I don't use. I don't use that Kinect. I think it's very cool. I think it's very forward-looking. I think in a year, 2 years, I might be saying something totally different as the way that media consumption evolves and changes, drastically alters my need or desire to use Kinect and to use the systems that Microsoft has put in place. Sony said early on that they were focusing on games, and I didn't really believe it. I thought, okay, that's what everyone says, these are game consoles, of course, what are you going to focus on? I'm still worried about the PlayStation 4 in a number of areas, but they have definitely delivered on a game box that is first and foremost for games. My biggest concern with PlayStation 4 is exclusives. So far we know about Infamous Second Son and the Order 1866. The Order does not look very good. It looks like a graphical showpiece with mechanics from 10 years ago. I don't know much else that's on the horizon for Sony in terms of exclusives. They have a lot of indie games, a lot of cool downloadable titles, and I will say that PlayStation Plus is currently blowing the bones off of whatever Xbox Live Gold is offering in terms of freebies. A game every month on PS4 is great, and you know that once that library is built, it's probably going to be more. Look at what you get on PlayStation 3, it's incredible. Xbox 360 is doing games for gold, but the titles seem to be antiquated and not the best selection. PlayStation gets it. With their downloadable games, it's pretty awesome. PS Plus is a great service, and I don't know in terms of friends lists, in terms of achievements, in terms of that sort of stuff, but the PlayStation online service is stepping its game up, and for me, for what I use it for, has surpassed Xbox Live because of PlayStation Plus. It's a great service. It'll be interesting to see how PlayStation Now is integrated, that thing where they allow backwards compatibility with PlayStation 3 games. Of course, you have to download them. Is it a monthly service? Is it, pick and choose and buy? I don't know, but we'll have to see when that time comes. Right now, though, PlayStation Plus is a huge thumbs up on the Sony side. But I am worried about exclusives. I don't know where they go from here. I don't know what franchises they lean on. And I don't know what the 2 to 3 year timetable is in terms of games. I know that an Uncharted game is coming, and I don't know much else. Xbox One seems to have spent a lot of money on games. And perhaps the time they spent courting third parties and courting publishers and developers was time lost on designing a more fluid system. Because right now that's the biggest difference between these two boxes. You can't go wrong with either, I don't think. I think you are fully justified if you purchase an Xbox One, fully justified if you purchase a PlayStation 4. I'm here to tell you, well, before I tell you that, I can't do this video without giving 20 seconds to the Wii U. Definitely consider a Wii U. I know right now it's not the glitzy thing to buy. I know right now it doesn't have the best graphics. It has the best stable of games. If you look at the exclusives for Wii U, Pikmin 3, Super Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Zombie U, Wonderful 101, soon-to-be Mario Kart 8, soon-to-be Super Smash Bros., Bayonetta 2, they have the best exclusives lineup. And I know that that slew of games doesn't appeal to everyone, but it surely appeals to me, and I think at the price point, you have to consider it. If you're looking purely for a game box, not one that has fancy features, not one that has apps and accessories and extras, straight-up games, the Wii U is really hard to beat right now, especially considering the slim pickings on both Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Maybe that changes by the end of 2014, but right now the Wii U has the best lineup of games, and I would be totally a fool if I didn't mention that to you guys. But this video is about PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and I think that as of March 2014, my final verdict is that the PlayStation 4 is currently my pick for which system is in the lead, which system I would choose, which system I would recommend. If I was telling my family, if I was telling my friends, if I was telling you, currently the PlayStation 4 is the better purchase. It's cheaper, it's quicker, it's faster, it typically performs better in-game and out-of-game, and the controller is no longer a factor. I don't feel like it affects the gameplay negatively in any way. The store is pretty smooth, the switching between games is smooth, and I really like it. Now, the Xbox One is going to get a huge pick-me-up in the form of Titanfall in just a few days. That is what I feel to be a killer app. It'll be interesting to see if it swings the scales of sales or not. We'll have to wait and see. I still don't feel that it makes the Xbox One a better system. It gives it the best game, I think, on both systems. The best exclusive by far, as of yet. But the reason I'm not giving it a huge boost is because I don't know how Infamous Second Son is going to turn out. Those could be equal. Now, multiplayer is usually a bigger push in terms of a system seller, so Titanfall has the advantage there. But me as a gamer, I consider multiplayer and single player equally, and so I want to give Infamous Second Son a chance to shine. I want to give more time for these consoles to grow before I make my next opinion on them, and so I probably won't be making another video based on these guys for a few months. Probably until after E3, when we see where they stand at that point, right around June. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little nervous to make it. I love both of them. I enjoy both of them. You see my game shelf back there? I've got PS4, I've got Xbox One, I've got tons of 360, PS3. I really love both systems. I'm not a fanboy. I don't have any reason or need to like one more than the other. I play them both almost daily. But I am starting to buy my third-party multi-platform games on the Sony PS4. And I really like achievements, but it's not enough right now of a pull for me. And perhaps that changes, and we'll have to see in a follow-up video in a couple of months. But right now, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Also hope it helped you, make a decision. If you're still waiting, perfectly fine. I don't blame you. There hasn't been a lot of stuff to really pull most people into next gen, but we're getting to that point. With Titanfall and Infamous Second Son, we have two really good games coming out for each system. And again, it's not a wrong choice for either of them. Titanfall is being bundled with Xbox Ones, so it's basically a $450 system versus a $400 system, $440. And they face much more price parity, and they're both good. I'm looking forward to long life cycles for both of these. Bunch of great games, bunch of great times, plenty of fun. The most important part of these two boxes is to deliver me an awesome, enjoyable experience, and that should be the most important thing to you. So Let's go have fun with games. Don't worry about fanboys or console wars. Both systems are good. I just personally, right now, recommend the PS4. Until next time, guys and girls, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button if you did. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.